The smell of premium Belgian chocolate smeared into Italian leather hit me the second I opened the door. I did not scream. I did not drop my keys. I just stood there, paralyzed by the sheer scale of the destruction. My $12,000 Fendi sofa, a piece I had spent 6 months sourcing for this specific layout, looked like a crime scene. Dark brown streaks ruined the cream fabric. Handprints were everywhere, and right in the center of the chaos sat my sister, Bella. She had her phone ring light set up on my coffee table, right next to the shards of a rare glass sculpture that was now scattered across the rug like jagged confetti. She was live streaming. I could hear her voice, bright and fake, echoing off the high ceilings. Real-life mom moment, guys. Sometimes you just have to let them run wild while you enjoy the view. #Penthouse life. Her 3 kids were using my silk throw pillows as stepping stones, jumping from the ruined couch to the armchair. I watched my nephew's sneakers land directly on a velvet cushion. Bella did not even look up. She was too busy checking her angles, too busy playing the wealthy influencer in a home she did not own, destroying property she could not afford to replace. I did the math instantly. The sofa, the sculpture, the rug, the cleaning fees, the reputational damage. It was easily $50,000. Maybe more. I did not say a word. I just pulled out my phone and started recording. Before I tell you exactly who ended up in handcuffs for this, and it was not me, drop a comment and let me know where you are listening from. I want to see how far this story travels. You need to leave, I said. My voice was quiet, but it cut through the fake cheer of her live stream like a knife. Bella looked up, annoyed, and finally ended the video. Relax, Lucy. It is just a couch. It wipes off. She stood up, brushing crumbs from her yoga pants onto the Persian rug I had borrowed from a gallery uptown. She did not offer to clean it. She did not apologize. She looked at me with this mix of pity and irritation, like I was the one being unreasonable for not wanting chocolate smeared on 5-figure furniture. My name is Lucy, and I am 28 years old. I have spent the last 6 years building a reputation as the most meticulous home stager in the city. Developers hire me to turn empty shells into multi-million-dollar dreams. This penthouse was not my home. It was my office, my portfolio, and my liability. But to my sister, it was just a free playground she felt entitled to wreck. It is not just a couch, Bella. It is inventory. It belongs to the developer. And that sculpture you let the twins smash? That was on loan. I am responsible for it. You always make everything about money, she sighed, grabbing a juice box from her youngest. Must be nice to only worry about things. Try worrying about 3 human beings for a day. That was the cue. My mother walked in from the kitchen, holding a bottle of wine, my client's display wine. A vintage red meant to sit on the counter, not be drunk. She poured a glass, completely unbothered. Don't start with your sister, Lucy. She has had a hard week. She just needed a place to decompress. You have all this space and you are never here anyway. It is selfish to hoard it. I looked from my mother to Bella, and suddenly, the dynamic clicked into focus. It was not just rudeness, it was a pathology. I call it the martyrdom delusion. Bella genuinely believed that because she had chosen to have children, the world owed her a debt. In her mind, her reproductive choices had elevated her to a state of sainthood where normal rules of respect and property rights did not apply. To her, I was not a professional with a career. I was just the childless aunt, a resource to be harvested. She looked at my quiet, disciplined life and did not see hard work. She saw a surplus that she was entitled to seize. She believed that her fatigue gave her a moral pass to destroy my peace. It is a toxic societal lie that says the person with the stroller always has the right of way, even when they are driving straight through your living room. I am working, Mom, I said, trying to keep the tremor out of my voice. This is a job site. You cannot just bring the kids here to destroy things. See? Bella gestured at me with the hand holding the juice box. She doesn't get it. She thinks a job is stress. Try raising the next generation, Lucy. Then come talk to me about hard work. You owe me this space. You owe me a break. They did not see me. They only saw what they could take from me. I realized then that explaining the cost of the sofa would not matter. You cannot use logic to fight entitlement that deep. I watched Bella kick a piece of glass under the rug so she would not have to pick it up, and I felt something cold settle in my chest. I stopped arguing. I stopped trying to make them understand. I just nodded, pulled out my phone, and pretended to check a text. Fine, I lied. Just try to be careful. They took my silence for submission. They did not know I was already planning the eviction. I changed the digital access codes the minute the door clicked shut behind them. I revoked my mother's guest access, scrubbed Bella's fingerprints from the system, and reset the alarm protocols. I thought technology could do what my voice could not enforce a boundary. I was naive. Boundaries only work on people who respect the concept of private property. For my family, a locked door was not a stop sign. It was a personal insult they were determined to bypass. 2 days later, my mother called. She sounded frantic, breathless, the perfect picture of maternal concern. "Lucy, I think I left my heart medication in your kitchen cabinet. The pharmacy is closed, and I'm feeling tight in the chest. I just need to pop in and grab it. Please, honey, don't make me drive to the ER." It was a lie. I knew it was a lie because I had cleaned that kitchen myself, and there were no pill bottles. But what was I supposed to do? Accuse my mother of faking a medical emergency to gain entry to a penthouse? If I was wrong, I was a monster. If I was right, I was still the daughter who refused to help. I gave her a temporary, one-time use guest code. I told her it would expire in 30 minutes. It took exactly 40 minutes for the betrayal to hit. I was at my actual office across town when my phone pinged with an Instagram notification. Bella had posted a new reel. "Big things coming. Finally upgrading my workspace to match my energy. Welcome to the new headquarters of Bella's brand." I watched the video, my stomach turning to ice. She was in the penthouse. She was sitting at the marble island, spinning in my ergonomic chair, holding a glass of sparkling water like she owned the place. My mother was in the background, fluffing the pillows on the replacement sofa I had just staged. There was no heart medication. There was no emergency. My mother had played the Trojan horse, using her own health as a bargaining chip to sneak Bella back inside the fortress. They were not just disrespecting me anymore. They were colluding against me. I did not call them. I did not scream. I did not rush over there to kick them out. That is what the old Lucy would have done, fought a loud, messy war that ended with them calling me crazy and me apologizing for yelling. This Lucy was done fighting. I realized then that I could not win by playing fair. They would always find a way to weaponize their entitlement. If I wanted them out, I had to make them want to destroy themselves. I initiated Ghost Protocol. That night, after the security sensors showed they had finally left, I went back to the apartment. I did not turn on the main lights. I moved through the shadows, packing only the essentials. My laptop, my hard drives containing my portfolio, my passport, the few pieces of jewelry that actually belonged to me. I packed them into a single suitcase and rolled it to the service elevator. I left everything else, the expensive furniture, the art, the fully stocked wine fridge exactly where it was. It looked like a home, but it was just a stage set now. Then, I sent the text. I drafted it carefully, making sure it hit every greed receptor in Bella's brain. "Hey guys. I've been called away to Milan for a last-minute design consultation. Huge opportunity. I'll be gone for 2 weeks. The place is empty, so please just stay away while I'm gone. I don't want the cleaners to get confused." I hit send. It was the perfect bait. An empty luxury apartment, a sister out of the country, and a direct request to stay away that practically begged to be ignored. I got into my car and drove to a nondescript hotel 3 miles away. I set up my laptop, connected to the Penthouse security feed, and waited. I was not the victim anymore. I was the director. I sat in the glow of my laptop screen in a budget hotel room 3 miles away, watching my life get dismantled in high definition. It took less than 6 hours for the bait to be taken. At 7 p.m. on Friday, the notifications on my security feed started blowing up. Motion detected in the hallway. Motion detected in the living room. Motion detected everywhere. Bella did not just come over to water the plants. She arrived with a catering crew. Through the grainy night vision of the foyer camera, I watched her usher in a stream of people, women in fast fashion cocktail dresses, a guy carrying a DJ controller, and half a dozen influencers holding ring lights like weapons. She was wearing one of my silk robes, styled as a dress, shouting orders at my mother, who was busy arranging a charcuterie board on a coffee table made of petrified wood that cost more than her car. "Make sure the lighting hits the view, Mom. I need the skyline in the back when I do the toast." This was not a secret getaway anymore. It was a housewarming party. I switched camera views to the kitchen. Bella was pulling bottles from the wine fridge, my client's private reserve, vintage Bordeaux meant for display only. She was popping corks with a carelessness that made my stomach turn, pouring $500 wine into red plastic cups she had brought with her. "Drink up, guys!" she screamed over the thumping bass that was already shaking the walls. "It is all on the house. My house!" I watched, cold and detached, as she spun a web of lies to her guests. I heard her tell a woman with pink hair that she bought the place with crypto earnings and her brand partnerships. She walked them through the rooms, pointing out the art I had curated, the furniture I had staged, claiming it all as her own taste, her own success. She was literally stealing my professional identity in real time, wearing my clothes, drinking my inventory, and basking in the envy of strangers. "It is hard work, you know," she told a guy leaning against a delicate marble plinth. People think being a mom and a CEO is easy. But I built this empire while raising 3 kids. I deserve this view. My mother stood right next to her, nodding, validating the lie. She was not stopping it, she was fueling it. She was refilling glasses, acting the part of the proud matriarch of this stolen kingdom. Bella has always had such an eye for design, my mother told someone. This place is just so her. I felt a flash of rage, hot and sharp, but I tamped it down. Rage would not help me here. Math would. I opened a spreadsheet on the side of my screen and started logging the damages. 6 bottles of vintage Bordeaux, $3,200. 1 stolen silk robe, $450. Rush professional cleaning fees, $1,500. Then, I saw it happen. One of the guests, a guy stumbling drunk, tripped over the rug. He grabbed the curtains to steady himself, custom linen drapes, hand-dyed in France. The fabric ripped with a sound I could almost hear through the mute screen. He fell, taking a side table and a ceramic lamp with him. The lamp shattered. The table gouged the hardwood floor. Bella did not stop the party. She just laughed, pulled out her phone, and panned the camera away from the breakage. "Party foul!" she shrieked, giggling. I typed into the spreadsheet. Custom drapes, $8,000. Ceramic lamp, $2,400. Hardwood repair, estimated at $5,000. The total was climbing fast. 20,000. 30,000. I needed it to hit 50. $50,000 was the threshold for felony criminal mischief in this state. I was not just watching a party. I was building a case file. I sat back, took a sip of lukewarm hotel coffee, and waited for them to break something else. They did not disappoint. At 10:30 p.m., Bella decided the furniture needed rearranging for a dance floor. I watched them drag the heavy velvet sofas across the floor without lifting them, the legs screeching across the finish. They pushed the dining table against the wall, knocking over a pedestal holding a bronze sculpture. The sculpture hit the ground. Bronze abstract figure. $18,500. Bingo. We were over the line. I closed the spreadsheet. I did not call my mom. I did not call Bella. I picked up my phone and dialed the number for the developer's private security firm. "This is Lucy, the stager for the Penthouse. I'm watching a break-in on the live feed. There are 20 intruders destroying the property. Send everyone." I did not call the police. That is a rookie mistake. Police treat family disputes like noise complaints. They knock, they warn, they leave. I called the developer's private security firm, Titanium Shield. These guys were not public servants. They were asset protection. They were paid to treat unauthorized entry into a $10 million property, not as a misunderstanding, but as a hostile threat. I watched the feed. 4 minutes after I hung up, the elevator doors in the penthouse slid open. They did not knock. They swarmed. 4 men in tactical gear stormed the foyer, killing the music instantly. "Security! Everybody down! Hands where we can see them!" The party collapsed into chaos. Ring lights dropped. Red cups spilled wine across the limestone. Guests screamed and scrambled. I ignored all of it. I watched Bella. She didn't panic. Standing on the ruined sofa, arms crossed. She looked offended. "Excuse me," she shrieked at the lead officer. "Get out of my house!" A police officer stepped forward, scanning the wreckage. "Ma'am, we received a report of a commercial break-in. Who is the leaseholder?" "I am," Bella snapped, stepping over shattered art. "I own this place. These are my guests. You're trespassing." The officer hesitated. She looked convincing, rich, angry, confident. "We have a report from the property manager," he said. "This unit is listed as unoccupied." "They're wrong," Bella said sharply, pointing to framed photos on the mantel. Her kids' pictures now covered my staged art. To an outsider, it looked lived in. "My sister Lucy handled the paperwork." She lied smoothly. "It's a family asset. This is just a housewarming." The officer looked at the photos, at my mother nodding behind her. The tension eased. Flashlights lowered. "If this is a family dispute," he sighed, "it's a civil matter." Bella smirked. She thought she'd won. I closed my laptop, grabbed my purse, and stood up. "Wait for me," I whispered. "I'm coming." The elevator opened to silence. Bella stood smugly at the center of the room as the officer prepared to leave. "Look who finally showed up," she sneered. "My sister, the squatter." I ignored her and walked straight to the officer. Mr. Henderson, the property manager, stood beside me, furious. "I'm Lucy," I said calmly. "I made the call. She claims she lives here," the officer said. "She's lying." I handed him the contract. "This is a commercial vendor agreement. I'm the lead stager. This unit is a showroom, not a residence." The room froze. Mr. Henderson stepped forward. She has no lease, no title, no authorization. We're pressing charges. The officer reviewed the documents. His expression changed. What had looked like a party now looked like a crime scene. Damages exceed $50,000. I added, handing over the inventory list. That's a felony. Bella went pale. The officer unclipped his handcuffs. Ma'am, turn around. Bella screamed, pleaded, panicked. It didn't matter. You can fake a lifestyle. I realized, watching her fall apart. But you can't fake a deed. As they led her away, she screamed my name. I can't fix it, Bella, I said quietly. I don't own it. I just staged it. The elevator doors closed.